Hey y'all, today we're talking about Bloodsport on 4K. We're also talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre on 4K. What? So what I'm holding here is not the new Bloodsport. This is my previous copy. It's a Blu-ray coming from Germany. I bought this from Amazon a long time ago at this point. Out of my entire collection, this is definitely among the couple discs that get used the most. I watch this movie frequently whenever I need something quick and casual, something that's going to get my spirits up, or if I'm in the mood to kind of veg out and I need something to just play. Because the best special feature about this thing is not only does it give you the movie once, it just keeps on going. Movie plays through, gives you a couple gives you like a little bit of an overture to relax with some warnings in different foreign languages, and then boom, score starts up, movie starts over. Love it. Regularly watch this twice in a row. Did it once, 3 times in a row just to say I did it. So I'm proud to say I can finally retire this Blu-ray, although it served me well. I've heard people say bad things about the transfer in this. I thought it always looked okay. I mean, it's Bloodsport. It's a movie that varies in quality from shot to shot, and it's also very corny and cheesy. I love it. It's like a Commando style movie. If sure most of y'all have been down that road. So yeah, Bloodsport's an ultimate guilty pleasure. Been renting this on VHS since I was a kid. Had a DVD. When I first started collecting back up again recently, 5, 6 years ago at this point, maybe even 7. This was among the first titles that I picked back up. So, love Bloodsport. Been eagerly anticipating a 4K. I think we're going to get a domestic release, but for those who are just mega fans who were not already aware, you definitely need to be aware that this is available. So, we've got a coming from Germany again, from Capelight Films, is a Bloodsport Mediabook. So this is not just this is like a big digipack with a little book built in. I have a version of The Running Man that's made similarly. So Capelight's transfers can be hit or miss. I know that they've had a few notorious bad ones. Proud and happy to say that this one is really good. This almost looks like a Vinegar Syndrome transfer. They left all the grain in, the details there. It definitely looks a lot better than the Blu-ray. When I was sitting at an appropriate distance from my, less than ideal 4K TV, I could see the difference. You could see it had that 3D filmic quality to it that really good 4Ks have. So this is a great transfer. Not only that, this is why this is sort of a PSA. Anyone who's a fan of this movie, don't be wary that this is a German release. Pretty much everything on it is English except for, the J card, which is going to have everything written in German on it. Okay. Check out the bonus features. They're actually stacked. The old Blu-ray literally only has a trailer, and it's not in good quality either. This has interviews. Jean-Claude Van Damme is interviewed. There's an interview with Herzog, like the music composer. The writer is interviewed. These interviews are like 30, 45 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes. You have hours of content here. Everything's in English, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos. Even have the Atmos in German if you want it, but everything's in English. Atmos in English. There was 2 variants of this so far. There was this one. This was cover B. There was also an all black edition. This is like the old school VHS art that I'm familiar with. Spine says Bloodsport. Inside you've got the climax. There's your 4K disc. Book element built in. And then a Blu-ray on the back. Now, obviously, the Blu-ray is going to be region B, but happy news, literally everything is on the 4K, which is region free. And again, everything's in English. So I think this will get a domestic release, but there's nothing that I can see to be added here. I think best case scenario, Vinegar Syndrome or someone like them gets a hold of it. If Vinegar Syndrome gets Bloodsport, this is a VSU for sure. But there's nothing down the pipe for what they have advertised this year that screams Bloodsport. So sometimes these German 4Ks, they take a year or two before they make their way here. So I could see this being a Vinegar Syndrome title. That would be awesome. I will buy it again if that's the case. But otherwise, literally anything else, I don't think I'll think I'm good. This thing has everything on it. Um, Again, very happy. This is sort of best case scenario here. The only thing I will say is I was initially a little bummed with the quality of the actual Mediabook. I feel like my Running Man one, which I have here, I'll grab quickly. Set Bloodsport down. My Running Man one is just, I don't know, maybe it's because it's the black cardboard, but you can tell it's just a little bit thicker. And the fact that this actually has the score in it as well, if that's the only thing missing here. If Bloodsport, if this had the score, oh my God, forget it. Now, I do own it on vinyl, so I'm set, and it's readily available everywhere online. But yeah, having the score in something like this just sort of clinches the deal, right? So yeah, these sell out. I'm pretty sure they're still available. I got this from Amazon Germany. They're gone from there. You have to order direct now, and there might be some distributors around the world that'll have copies. I don't know, act fast. Again, unless this gets a VSU or some kind of rad steelbook, which could happen. I don't know exactly who would distribute this in the States or Canada. But regardless, if you're a fan, I can wholeheartedly recommend this one. Looks awesome, and it's future-proof. It has everything in it. Next up, we're talking a horror classic. This is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre on 4K. This is the 4K limited edition coming from Second Sight. I waited a little longer to get this European version. The Dark Sky American version Steelbook was released a few weeks back here. They were actually similarly priced in Canada, so I didn't see the point of getting the lesser Steelbook. I went with the limited edition. I ordered this early enough where I got the extra cards. I think the base model comes with 6 cards, and then the one I got came with an extra 3. I don't really care. It's cool getting something others aren't getting, but cards don't really impress me too much, although the ones in here do look pretty cool. So we've got the set here. Now, we're going to start off with the bad news. Typically, I order direct from Second Sight. Exceptions are going to be my Dawn of the Dead. I look back in the history. This was actually the very first Zavi order I placed. I don't think we was able to be ordered in because of rights issues. So I was able to order that on Zavi. And then the same thing with Martin. All of my other Second Sights I got direct. And I've always had great experiences. They come in a box. The box or the product itself is covered in a bubble wrap. It's inside between usually some air bubbles. So I've always had really good packaging. In fact, one of the first videos on this channel is probably a really scrappy looking unboxing of the Witch or the Guest or something. So anyway, bummer. This is the first time I get my sweet limited edition in one of these pieces of shit. Now, anyone who orders from Zavi is going to be familiar with something that looks like this. Let me tell you though, this is worse. And see how banged up it is? I tried my best not to bang it up. This is sort of how it came to me. So I saw it right away, and I knew I was in for a bad day. So, yeah, my comments initially are just going to be, let's get away from this. Even if you're going to make something like this cardboard needs to be much denser and thicker. This is not going to take, it did not take the beating it was supposed to. So I unboxed my edition, and I was bracing for the worst. And initially I thought I made out clean. This thing looked pretty mint when it was sealed. Then the longer I looked at it, I could tell there was a little something going at the bottom. I took the plastic off, and then right away I saw this. I don't know if this is going to register as well on this camera as it does in real life. But yeah, I saw this and knew I was in for bad lunch. So it definitely took a good wallop on this corner. If I take the J card off, which will show off, plenty of content in here, which I will say right off the top. Region locked Blu-rays, but everything's on the 4K disc. This 4K disc is loaded. I went for days just scrolling through the special features. So everything that's spread across the Blu-rays here is on the 4K. So here's my damage box. Took a wallop in the corner. Okay, here and here. Now if we look here, before I even took it apart, we've got the digipack here. So the book is safe, the cards are all safe, all that's okay. Just the digipack potentially could have been damaged, which it was. Not so bad, but banged up. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The fact that there's digipacks in these limited editions, although you get the cool fold-out art experience, although they do kind of usually keep them sort of stark like this, so it's debatable how cool it really is. I definitely think it's less cool when they come damaged, brand new. So, spoiler alert, I'll jump to the end of that story. I submitted a request. I didn't even ask or wait to be asked. I just gave them photos of the damage and of like how the shipping like looked before I even opened it. Always take pictures, especially if something looks banged up. Take pictures of the shipping before you open it, okay? So I just sent all of this to the person's address that was actually in my shipping notification for the item because I ordered it direct. She took care of it right away. She had me confirm my address and my order number, and she's sending me the damaged items. So all good. Definitely the point and advantage of going direct with these guys. Now, I've never actually had to use their customer service, but I'm glad that at least they did the right thing. They didn't make me set my box on fire to send me a new box. You know, they were cool. I'm glad to say I checked out the 4K. It looks awesome. The transfer is full of grain, full of detail. Colors look awesome. And like I said, special features, you're just going to scroll until your thumb breaks off. So everything's on the 4K here. I think if you pick up that Dark Sky Blu-ray, you'll be in good shape, or the 4K Blu-ray. I mean, they're all good. They're all basically the same. I think that one has one extra interview with Friedkin, and this has a few featurettes. So, you know, pick your poison there. A lot of people got both. If you really love the movie, it's certainly a classic enough to justify double dipping. I'm glad I went with the limited edition, and if I want to double dip, I'll wait until the Dark Sky 4K gets insanely cheap, and I'll buy it on a whim one day. I thought I was done. I'm not. There's one more thing I want to cover. I went over it a little bit in my previous video, but now that I actually have this thing, let's show it off. Now, I have no delusions of grandeur, and I don't expect to ever make a profit doing this. No one is currently paying me to do this, so I am rogue, okay? We've got a printing error on this sucker. So I don't know who they designed. I'm not going to research it because I don't want to throw anyone under the bus. But I'm just going to make a general claim here that this is not how you format things properly. So the word chain is decentered towards the word Texas. They didn't move the I, the dot with it, so it's off-center there. So you got the I that's off-centered, and you've got the whole word that's decentered, and it looks creepy, okay? It just looks wrong. So this is just a blooper. This is a printing error, formatting error. It's on every single version. Almost no one, in fact, no one's video who I've watched has made reference to this, probably because they didn't notice. They were too distracted by how awesome the movie and everything about it is. But fact is, we got a big old blooper here. But it's more than just that. Outside of that one, I take a little bit of question. I question this one too. The formatting on the book makes no sense. And keep in mind, I'm not a professional graphic designer. I don't know much about any of this. I'm just a dude and I'm seeing this and it looks wrong. Okay? So I'm looking at this. To me, it reads like they're saying the Texas chain saw a massacre. There's, again, like just the formatting. The word chain is like decentered towards Texas. There's something going on here. I think the person who did this is just not a professional, or something happened and something got moved and saved and they didn't catch it until it's too late. I did email Second Sight about this before I even received my copy because I saw the blooper everywhere it was being posted on Reddit. They didn't really acknowledge it being there. All they acknowledged was that every copy will have it, because I mentioned that there was, new stock. I alluded to there possibly being more being reprinted. They confirmed that that's not the case. There's one printing run and that's it. So every version of this will have this blooper. So that's actually better. I was going to be a little bit more upset if you'd have good copies and defective copies out there, because then you question which one is the right one to have, especially if they didn't offer a replacement. So sounds like there's no replacement. Also sounds like I'm the only person who's acknowledging this. So I'm going to choose not to be super anal. I just want to point it out, and I'm at least happy everyone's is messed up.